When your quads are tight, your whole body loses power. They tilt your pelvis forward, they shut down your glutes, they really just pull your whole system out of alignment, physically and energetically. So today we're freeing that front line so your strength and stability and flow can just finally move as one. Let's begin in a child's pose. So just open your knees up as wide as you want to, as wide as feels comfortable, but just make sure they're not wider than your mat. So keep them on the mat, so not wider than that. Big toes come together in the back, sit down on your heels and fold forward. Take your time. You might already be feeling some intensity here. We're really gonna be focusing on the quads, so they might be tight, and if so, just take your time, crawl. You don't have to fold, you can just crawl. When you get to a comfortable place, just relax your head down and breathe. Now, if you've got really tight quads, you might not be able to sit down on your heels. Your bottom might be up in the air like this, and if so, that's fine. This is your body, and you know what feels good and what feels uncomfortable, so we're just going to play with that edge. All right, we want to get to the edge without pushing ourselves over the edge. So sink your bottom towards your heels as much as you can comfortably. As soon as it's too much pressure on the knees, back off a little bit. One more big breath. Good. And now just roll forward into a king cobra. Take your time, so keep your knees nice and wide. Straighten your arms, lift your chest, and just hang out here for a moment. We're gonna get the lower belly and the top of your hip flexors here, which are part of the quad. So just take your time, start to work your hips down towards the mat. One more moment. And now back to child's pose. Sink your hips as low as you can. Big breath. And now roll forward again, another king cobra. Legs are straight, and then you're working to straighten your arms as you lift your chest, pressing your hips down towards the mat. Bend your right knee and look over your right shoulder. Feeling a big stretch in the quad on that side. Lengthen. Now left side. Looking over the left shoulder, big stretch. And lengthen. Back to child's pose, releasing your lower back, making sure everything feels okay, and then relaxing, couple of big breaths. All right, now tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Making a V shape with your body. Just take a moment and pedal it out. Now step your right foot between your hands, runner's lunge. And just hang out here in a runner's lunge for a moment. Just opening up the hip flexor, the top of the quad. And now lower your knee down to the mat. Lift your chest for a modified crescent B. Now this is a super quad stretch. Mostly it's a hip flexor, so the top of your quad. where your quadricep attaches to the front of your ASIS, the front of your hip bone. That's why it's a hip flexor. When this starts to loosen, then everything will start to open up. So make sure your hips are square to the front of the mat. Your front knee is right on top of your ankle, and your back leg, your back knee is as far behind your hips as you can get it. And then just hang out. Hang out and breathe. And this might feel pretty intense. So just breathe into it. Lean into the intensity. If it feels sharp and shooting, get out of there. Then just back off a little bit like that. But if it just feels hard, because it's uncomfortable, but it's not painful, I encourage you to stay with it and breathe into it and tell your muscle to literally talk to your quad and say, it's okay to let go. And just imagine how much energy you'll free up when you do that. All right, now send it back, downward facing dog. Reset. Now step your left foot forward, runner's lunge, hanging out here for a moment. Drop your knee, lift your chest, modified crescent B. So both hands on your front knee, or you can have one hand on your hip. Really focusing on alignment so that we target the right muscle, targeting the quadriceps. So make sure you square your hips off to the front of the mat, that your front knee is directly over your ankle. Your back knee is as far behind your hips as you can get it. And just settle in. Like settle in for the ride. You're going on the ride here. You're focusing on the quadriceps, such a big muscle. When the quadricep is tight, it's using a lot of energy to stay contracted. So when you lengthen it, not only does it feel better in your body and reduce a lot of pain and discomfort, it also frees up an enormous amount of energy, and suddenly you're like, you know what, it's 4 o'clock and I'm not even tired. Or you know what, I walked up the stairs and I'm not even out of breath. You were never out of shape, you just had tight quads. Couple more big breaths. We have to make it even from side to side. Almost there. One more. And now downward facing dog. Roll forward into a king cobra. Drop your hips, straighten your arms, lift your chest. And we'll finish in a child's pose. Making sure everything feels okay with your knees. Once you loosen up those quads, everything feels a little different. Your knees have more space, your hips have more space, everything has more space. So just get comfortable in your child's pose. It might feel different, and just finish with 3 big breaths. Your foundation's back online. Now just go move through your day like the powerhouse you are.